Hi VC, this is Bev here at Clark Vision. This is just going to be I'm hoping it's going to be a quick video, just me saying a couple of things about Record Store Day and a brief update. And literally it's one item from 3 formats. Well, I've got 3 items, one from 3 formats, right? So Record Store Day was on Saturday past there, the 13th of April, and I had, about a month ago I guess, Robert Z, he was running a competition called his March contest, and I entered it, and the topic for the March contest was about Record Store Day, and you were to, because it was up and coming in a few weeks from this point, and you were to sort of just talk about it, how you feel about it, what it means to you, if you love it or hate it, etc, etc. So and I had said in that video that, to be honest, I don't really have any particular likeness or dislike for it. I was only really aware that such a thing as Record Store Day existed about 2-3 years ago. I had heard about it. But since joining the VC, obviously I've kind of learned a bit more about it because people have talked about it more, and I've kind of had a look at 1 or 2 things online about it, and they issue a list online at some point of everything that's coming out for specifically Record Store Day, blah blah blah. And I thought, and my general assumptions were, well, if it's good for promoting vinyl and music, the physical product in the music world, then I'm all for it in that respect. And I am. I don't really mind it if it's good for vinyl and good for the artist getting money that way. I think it's likely to benefit the artist as well. And so, I had never made any plans for a Record Store Day before, and I hadn't made the slightest plans this Saturday, and it was a last minute spur of the moment because here where I live, our local bus company is in its centenary year, and it was running a vintage bus day on Saturday as well, on Record Store Day. And I just said to Mum last minute, Mum, I says, how do you fancy grabbing one of the vintage buses and taking a trip down to Morningside, which is the route that it was running, and Morningside is kind of, well, it's the area I work in actually. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun to grab one of the old buses that used to be running either before I was born or when I was a kid, etc. So we did that. Mum and I went out, we got the bus out to Morningside, and it was an old bus from, I don't know, it was an old, was it an old C registration where the C was at the other end, the back end? So I'm guessing it might have been a 70s bus. I don't know if it was the early 70s, mid 70s, late, but yeah, anyway, the one we were on. And it was good fun, it brought back a lot of memories. And we got off at Morningside, and they've got charity shops there, and well, we'll just have a look in a couple while we're here. And lo and behold, I went into one of the charity shops looking through the records that they had, and there it was, an album I've been looking for ages. Well, for a while, and it's kind of like a grail. It's an album I really love, and I couldn't believe it, and it was a really good price, and it was in really good condition, so I just grabbed that there and then. So basically, not because it was Record Store Day, but because the buses were having this vintage thing, it was really down to them that I ended up getting this record, because I probably wouldn't have gone out that way at all if it wasn't for this vintage bus day. But so that was that. So we got another bus home. We got one of the brand. We've got new buses in as well, brand new, as in made this year, current licence plates, and got one of them home, so it was kind of like the old and the new. And then after lunch, I says to Dad, do you fancy going taking a run? And there was a place down Stockbridge where we were, another part of town, so we drove across in the car, and they were doing the record store day thing. Now, because their shop is kind of a small shop, they had the record store day event at a local cathedral. Was it a cathedral? Or it was a chapel. It was a chapel, so it was a small kind of church thing, just up the road a bit from where their shop was, but it was in the same street. And I thought, right, let's go and have a look at this thing, just to see what it's like. I wasn't sure if I was going to love it or hate it, and when we arrived there, Dad and I, there was people kind of standing about outside. The sign was there. This is already 6 minutes, yes. So I went in, and here's these people queuing right at the door, and I says, is this a queue to get in? To one of the people. She said, no, this is the queue for the toilets. I'm like, all right, okay. So we bypassed all the people and entered the main chapel area, and it was fairly small. The lighting was poor, it was quite dull in the place. There were crates dotted about the floor, and there were crates placed along the side of the wall on chairs, and there was a couple of tables in the middle with more crates on them. So the first crate I spotted was right in front of me on the floor, and it was £3 or 4 for a tenner, and it was like a sale box or something. And this wasn't record store day stuff, but I was having a look through it. But you could barely see, it was awkward, there was people pushing past you, and then I went and looked at some of the record store day stuff, and you kind of got to squeeze your way in, and then you've got to wait your turn because there's other people looking through a certain crate. And again, as the lighting was poor, I'm looking at things quite close up to see, well, what's the name on that? I try to read the spines of them. I saw the Def Leppard album, which is their, what do they call it? Their the best of their story so far, Malarkey Part 2. And I just said to my dad, this is what a total waste of vinyl that is. There's no way I was buying it. There was one I was kind of interested in possibly looking at, and it was Madonna had a 12-inch of her, one of her, in fact 2 of her singles from back in the 80s. She had reissued them, and they were there, and I had a look at them, and then I saw the print. It was £22 they wanted for this single, and I thought, no, no way am I paying £22 for a reissue of a single that was in the charts back in the 80s. I thought, you're just having a laugh. And the prices of a lot of the stuff, it was £20 upwards, 25, £30. And so I just had a look. There was nothing that really took my fancy, and it was busy, and it was, people just seemed to be a bit kind of nerdy, geeky. I got this feel that people around about, there's this kind of a feeling that they were sort of, I don't know, snobbish, like, oh, this is record store day, this is, cool and all this kind of thing. And so it basically kind of made my experience of what record store day is worse than it was last month, basically. It's something, as far as I'm concerned, personally, unless there is something absolutely amazingly rare or new that from a band that's been released that I love to bits and absolutely want, then I'll maybe seek to try and get it. But I personally think the whole experience is pretty rubbish. That's how I found it on Saturday. I had much more success in the charity shop. And speaking of which, going back to if you're on Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you might have seen already. But for those who didn't see it, this is what I got in the charity shop, Sonic Temple, the cult, and I was delighted to see this. £7 it cost me. You know, now I've tried to bid on them on eBay in the past, and they've gone for more than £7. But this is in fine condition. The spine is really good. There's a nice shine. The inner sleeve is immaculate. There is no splits. There's just a couple of little kind of, you know, age-related marks. And the record itself plays lovely. There's a couple of light surface marks on it here and there, but nothing ridiculously outrageous. But it's Beggars Banquet Records. It plays lovely, really. So I was thrilled to pieces to get that. Now, as I say, £7 in the charity shop. It's because it's the Oxfam charity shop, and they've cottoned on to the value of records and CDs nowadays, and they have a specific shop dedicated to just music and books. And this, you know, this was their music and books that I was in. So, you know, and I don't mind paying a little bit more than you would in a standard kind of just charity shop that has a bit of everything, where you might pick one up for £2 or £3, even less. But because if you find something like this in one of these charity shops, you're still probably going to pay a little bit less than you would in an actual independent record store. But, you know, I was having that. I didn't care. So that was my find from Record Store Day, and it was nothing to do with Record Store Day. Later on, when we were over at the other side of town at the Stockbridge area, I popped into one of the charity shops over that side, and didn't see anything that jumped at me except a cassette. So I picked this up. It was 99p, and it's Robert Plant's Now and Zen. I think this was 1988. I've been wanting to give this album a listen to just out of curiosity since 1988, and I've just never got around to getting it. Again, it's in lovely condition. The inlay card is excellent. I think there are lyrics there. So, and the guitar solos on certain tracks are by Jimmy Page, and there's a couple of them where Jimmy Page does guitar solo. So yeah, Robert Plant, Now and Zen. So I have no idea if I'll like this or not. And the other thing I got on Saturday, it came in the mail. It was the other Blackmore's Night CD that I had ordered from Monmox that was coming via eBay. Got this for about £3. So this one is from 2006, and it's on SPV Steamhammer. You've got 14 tracks on here, and again, it's very folky, rocky, and Candice Night, she does have a beautiful voice, and the guitars, they're really quite different, you know, but really quite nice. And if you want something different to just chill out to background music, this is the kind of thing. So I thought it was kind of cool just to pick up a couple of these. So that's my wee thing. I'm really, personally, I wouldn't get excited about Record Store Day unless, as I say, there was something amazing, because one, you're going to pay through the nose. Two, you just got loads of people pushing and shoving and stuff, and it's just not enjoyable, really. But that's all my opinions. Anyway, for those of you who had a good Record Store Day and got stuff excellent for you, I'm chuffed for you. Enjoy your goodies, and I'll catch up with you soon. I'm so behind on watching videos and stuff like that, and doing thread responses and things, so I shall try and get on with it this week. Right, bye then now.